Within a week, I went from someone who did not know how to start a conversation and was not confident in himself at all to someone who approached new people and was making new friends, not just every once in a while, but daily, every single day for weeks. So I was 18. And at this point in time, I had gone to high school and I'd made like one certain group of friends, right? And they were my best friends in the world, and they still are, but they graduated, right? They were a bit older than me. They all graduated out, and then it was just me alone for 2 years in high school. And I had become such great friends with these people. We had so many inside jokes, almost our own language that we spoke with. So whenever I tried to make friends with other people and use the same words and the same jokes, they didn't get it. It didn't make sense. I didn't know how to talk to people because I just isolated myself in this one friend group. And now I'm at the end of high school. I'm 18. I'm going to college. And I'm going to college a little bit early, right? Because I'm going to band camp, because I'm going to be in the marching band. And people in marching band have to get there a couple weeks early so that we can practice basically to be good enough at the first football game. I'm driving up to this college that I'm about to call my home for the next 4 years. And I don't know a single person there. There were group chats and stuff on Facebook, but I wasn't in any of them because I'm not gonna use Facebook, bro. Sorry, I'm not. So I had no clue who anyone else here was. But I told myself I'm not going to let myself fall into the rut that I was in high school, because honestly, as much as I didn't want to admit it, I felt so alone. I felt like I had no one who really cared about me. Of course, I always had those best friends that I made in high school, but they weren't around on a day-to-day basis. So I just felt so empty. And I was not about to let that happen again. So as soon as I walked into the building where we all were, I just turned myself on. I said, I am going to just be the guy who makes friends. I'm just going to fucking do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I imagined what it would be like to be a really friendly guy. What would he do? He's probably loud. He's probably not afraid of showing himself who he is. And so that's exactly what I did when I walked in there. I was loud. I smiled at people. I said, thank you. And whenever someone told me where to go for the trumpet section, because I was a trumpet player. And whenever I walked up to the trumpet section, I didn't just go and stand in the corner. I said, my trumpets! And I had my arms out like this. And people just thought I was this confident guy. People said, I thought you were the band leader, like the trumpet section leader. And I was like, no, dude, I'm just a guy. What people didn't see is that the entire time, I was shaking, bro. I was shaking because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But there's one thing I realized from having this experience. It's that as nervous as you are going in to meet new people, other people are just as nervous, if not more nervous than you are. So you have to be the person okay with being nervous, with feeling that discomfort. Because right now, young men are lonelier than ever. With the rise of TikTok and hyper-stimulating content, attention spans are getting smaller and smaller. And it's getting harder for people to want to go out and start into conversations, for one, but even worse, it's harder for people to pay attention in conversation and be present and actually feel that it's rewarding without some other kind of stimulation happening. And you can think, oh no, the world is evil and this is all shit and my life is shit. Or you can look at this for what it is, which is an opportunity. One where you become the guy who people are naturally attracted to, who people just love to be around. Because for some reason, and they don't know why, but for some reason, they just feel good around you. And you are confident enough to go up and talk to them. That takes balls. I'm going to tell you exactly how to become this guy, give you the exact same thing that I say to strangers literally every time. But the first thing that we need to do is break down the mental barriers that you have right now that have been keeping you from already doing this. Firstly, I want to address the fact that you clicked on a video on how to talk to strangers. Think about this for a second. It's a straightforward problem. How do you talk to a stranger? You talk to a stranger. It's straightforward, right? You just do it. Same thing if, how do I ask a girl for her number? You ask a girl for her number. How do I tell my roommate that hasn't done the dishes recently and I want him to do them? You tell that to your roommate. The reason that you haven't done it yet isn't because you don't know what to do. It's because fear is stopping you. Right now, you are afraid because some consequence that you think could possibly might happen. They could say, oh no, they don't want to be friends. They could think that you're weird. And what you're doing right now is you are rationalizing this fear by intellectualizing over it. You're thinking, okay, I just need to know this next trick, this next tactic, this exact thing to say so that I don't make a fool out of myself, and that doesn't happen. What you need to know is that you don't have to do what your fear wants you to do like you're its little bitch. You don't have to obey fear. Feel fear and act anyway. That's the only way that you are going to be able to get the experience to actually learn what to do in situations with strangers, is by getting into situations with strangers. And this is a huge part of being masculine and of just being a growing person. If you are focused on growth, is living beyond your edge. And David Dita talks about this a lot. And what that means is your edge is your comfort zone, right? If you have this little circle right here that you are comfortable in, you're comfortable in here, you have to live right outside of it. Because when you do that, you're going to experience new things. You're going to grow. You're going to become a better person because of it. This is how you change and improve and make your life one worth living. I want you to think of fear like this. Fear isn't a bad thing. It's actually an indicator of where you need to be heading. If you're afraid of something, that means you probably should do it. And of course, I'm not saying jump off a cliff because you're afraid to do it, bro. I'm saying things that you fear emotionally but rationally make sense to do, you should do them, because that means that's where you need to grow next. If you are afraid of talking to strangers, it means that's a place you can grow. You can grow and become better by talking to strangers. The next thing you need to know is that right now, you have everything that you need. You think there's some trick, some magic line that's going to get you into conversation so smoothly and nothing's going to go wrong. It's not about the line, bro. It's about who you are. Are you the kind of person that can walk up to a stranger and handle a little awkwardness? Are you the person who feels the awkwardness but does it anyway, but doesn't let that affect him? If you aren't yet, practicing is how you become him. And being human means that you naturally have the born ability to connect with other humans. It's literally what we are meant to do. It's how we survived as a species. You have everything inside of you right now to do it. The only reason you're not is because you're inhibiting your self-expression. Now, what does that mean? Expression is to push something out into the world. So pushing yourself out, showing your personality, being authentic, genuine. And because you are inhibiting that, you're not doing that right now, people can't see who you really are. They can't trust you. They can't know you. And it's because your dad shut you down at the dinner table one time when you were a kid, and that made you think that speaking and having a personality wasn't valuable, that you as a person weren't valuable. I will tell you, your dad is not a reflection of the real world, bro. Self-expression is the key to living authentically, to living a fulfilled life, and to creating a killer social circle around you who genuinely cares about you. The closer you are to saying exactly what is on your mind, the more magnetic of a person you are going to become. And know that the first time that you talk to a stranger is going to be the hardest. But if you can do it once, you can talk to literally anyone. Because every time after that, it's just easier and easier and easier and easier. And you're going to realize once you do this, that it's not actually that scary. It's not actually hard at all. You've been building this up in your mind for years. And once you cross that barrier, you cross that moat that you have to get over, it's easy. And it starts to become effortless. Now that you know you can do it, you just haven't because of fear, I'm going to tell you exactly how to overcome fear this time. First of all, every time you were thinking about doing this, every time that you were seeing in your mind, you talking to a stranger and it going poorly, you're worrying about it, you are giving yourself negative visualizations, which is going to make you act like a bitch, right? You're going to close off, you're going to make yourself small, you're not going to be outward and fun and funny and charismatic like you actually are. Because whenever you imagine something in your mind vividly, your brain and nervous system thinks it's real. This is why I say that the real world is a symptom of your mind, because your brain and nervous system always, every time, reacts to your environment in the appropriate way. But your brain is what determines what you think your environment is. I know this sounds a little bit woo-woo, but stay with me. If you keep visualizing yourself in these situations, you think, well, you know, it could go wrong. This person could say, no, I don't want to be your friend. Okay. And then you think, what if it does? And then your mind goes further than that. And you start visualizing yourself in the situation. And you keep replaying that image in your head again and again. And every time you do, you add a little bit more detail, a little bit more vividness to this image. And it becomes more real and real to you. And so you start acting like that guy who just got shut down and rejected. And you start acting like the guy who got rejected over and over and over again. And this is why your mind is so fucking anxious. This is why you can't talk to people, bro. This is why you haven't talked to strangers yet. It's because you are continually giving your mind and body what they think are real experiences of you getting rejected. That's why you start to become unconfident and you don't act like yourself when you are around new people. So instead of doing this, give yourself positive visualizations on purpose before you are going into a social situation or before you're going out and meeting a stranger. Imagine yourself in detail. What are you doing whenever you're going to talk to this stranger that's going to be amazing? If it were to go absolutely 100%, as best as it could, if it were to be a success in every area in your book, what would you act like? What would you do? What would you say? What do the shoes on your feet feel like? What does it feel like when you're walking up to their table in the coffee shop? What does your coffee taste like? What are the things that you're saying that they're saying? And I'll go ahead and tell you my line right now that I say to people every time so you can visualize yourself saying it. I literally just walk up to someone I think is cool and say, hey, you look like someone I'd want to be friends with. What's your name? That's it, bro. It's that simple. Just say what's on your mind. Because that's literally what's on my mind. They look cool. I want to be friends with them. Visualize yourself saying this. Visualize them reacting positively. And visualize yourself getting the reward that you want out of the situation. If you want to make more friends, visualize them handing back your phone and they've got your phone number in it. Right? Great, man. This went great. I just got this dude's phone number. We're going to hang out next week. Visualize yourself actually going to hang out with this person. Visualize you creating a group of friends around you who all care about you, who all think you're funny, and who all love to spend time with you. Because when you start to visualize these things, your mind and your body start to think they're real. So you're going to start acting like that guy. You're going to start being more confident. You're going to start being louder. You're going to start taking up more space. You're going to say, hey, my trumpets. Just like that. Because what did I do before I stepped into that band building? I visualized what it would look like if someone were to do those things. And then I just copied that guy. This is what you were doing. Next thing I want you to keep in mind is that no one cares and it doesn't fucking matter, bro. If you fuck up, no one's actually going to remember. No one cares. Rationally think about this, right? Your worst case scenarioing this in your mind. What is actually the rational worst case scenario that could happen? Like, of course, 8 buff guys could come out of nowhere, beat the shit out of you, gang rape you, and then a bear could come attack you. Of course, it's possible, but like rationally, what's the worst case thing that could happen? Probably they could say no. You both could just be uncomfortable for a second. And then once you have that worst case scenario in your head, now ask, why is it not that bad? Why does this really not matter? Well, at least I would have tried. At least I'm not going throughout my life and just taking shit. At least I'm trying to get what I want, which is a cool friend group. I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to ever see them again. And really, what matters in the grand scheme of things? Like, we're all going to be dust in a few years. I'm not going to remember this in 5 years, and they're probably not going to remember this in 5 minutes. Yeah, it really is not that big of a deal. Go through this mental model in your head of you thinking of that worst case for just a second and then why it really doesn't fucking matter. Because what happens when you do this is that anxiety that you feel starts to boil down, starts to simmer down, and rather than anxiety, it becomes excitement. And now that you have this bottled feeling of excitement in you, you can choose where it goes. This is why some people do really well when taking tests and some people don't. It's because everyone gets this feeling of excitement, but they choose where to channel it. When you channel it into nervousness and anxiety and fear and running away, you can't even hold your pencil straight. These are the people who do really poorly on tests. And then there's people who don't even study and fucking nail it. That's because they're using their excitement and putting it into focus, into courage. They're perceiving it as excitement. And they're like, yes, I'm going to fucking take this test, whether it goes badly or not. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Every time that you use this excitement and turn it into courage, you get more likely to do it again and again and again. That's why right now it's going to feel the hardest. But then after you start doing it, once you do it the first time, it starts clicking. It gets easier and easier and easier. I made a fool of myself in front of so many people my freshman year. I walked up to people and I just stuttered and like words barely came out. And I said, and then I walked away. And I did that over and over and over again until I just made conversations that make sense. And it also just didn't become a big deal for me to be awkward in conversation. I'd stuttered so many times and stammered out my words that I was just like, if that happened again, I was just like, sorry, let me try again. I'm Luke. And because I made a fool of myself so many times, because I fucked up so many times, I had a girlfriend. I had a lot of friends. I became popular and known on campus. The last thing I want you to keep in mind is this mindset. The cool people out there that you want to meet are thinking, man, I hope he talks to me. The girls out there that you want to get their phone numbers, they're thinking, man, I hope he's the one who actually sweeps me off my feet this time. And they don't know that they're thinking this. It's a subconscious thing. But that cool guy that you thought was cool across the cafe also saw you and was like, okay, this guy's pretty chill. I hope that he comes talk to me. And of course, this isn't going to be true for absolutely everyone, but for the right people who you actually do want to talk to, of course it is. They're thinking that, just as you were hoping for that one cool guy to come around and invite you to go do something cool. Just as you were hoping that that one cute girl would talk to you because you didn't have the balls to do it. Now you are going to become the guy who has the balls to actually fucking do it. And whether everyone is thinking that they do want to talk to you or not, what does it matter? This mindset is going to actually help you and get you talking to more people. So you might as well adopt it rather than keeping the ones that are giving you mental health problems. So you have no excuses now. This is the last video on approaching a stranger that you are ever going to need. This is your action step. Approach one person today. Act now and become unstoppable.